Okay, we are live. Let's do this. All right. We are live on all the accounts. I am on live on YouTube. I'm live on Instagram. I am live on Facebook. All right. YouTube is the main place to check it out, but I am here. My name is Brent Baum, and I am not only your favorite contrarian, I'm the only contrarian. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And that's right. Welcome back to another edition of The Bachelor, season 23, episode 8. It's hometowns, Colton Underwood season. And like I said, it's four girls remaining. Four girls, four, I guess, lucky ladies remaining. It's hometowns. It's all business. It's all serious. I love hometowns because you really get you a chance to dive in and learn about the people's families, especially when it's the daughters who are bringing the bachelor home to the point where the fathers can be very protective and question the whole journey or process or whatever you want to call, whatever air quotes you want to call it. It's always down. It's always exciting. And starting off, let's get right into the very first hometown. Caitlin, we went to her hometown in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And the thing is about you guys know how I feel about Caitlin. I think at times she's very polished. I think that she approaches this whole bachelor journey like it's a beauty pageant. But nonetheless, Colton has been falling in love with her. So you can see right off the bat, they are excited. They go out for ice cream. They eat their ice cream. Caitlin plays that little joke on Colton about, oh, well, do you smell this ice cream? And then she shoves the ice cream right in his face. So you can see this little banter and they're having a good time. But I think it was fun when Caitlin actually introduced Colton to her father. It's not her biological father, as she mentioned before. And as many people, as we understand, many of us right out here, they question this whole journey. How serious is it? How can you fall in love within 6 weeks? Is it possible, people? You guys tell me. People on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, you tell me. Is it possible to fall in love? No. Before we get into that, is it possible to fall in love in 6 weeks? And is it possible to fall in love with 4 different people within 6 weeks? Answer that for me. Tell me what you guys think. But like I said, Caitlin basically introduces Colton to her father, her basically her stepdad, but she looks at him as being her father, and he just basically questions the process about it. And one thing I noticed, Caitlin's sister was really, really surprised that she told Colton about when she was sexually harassed. That was a big shocker for her. It's a very serious conversation to have. And I was surprised that Caitlin divulged that story this early in the process. But at the same time, obviously she trusts Colton and she wanted to confide in him. And that was a very serious time in her life. And you can see out of all the people, like the sister, like she has some trepidation. She's not sure about this whole journey, but more than anything, I feel like it was the father that had the most trepidation, and he was just really questioning this. And the thing is, what I don't understand, this is one thing I don't get, people. I don't understand why Colin has to ask every father for their blessing when he doesn't even know who he's picking yet. I don't understand why he won't just pull off a Ben H, where when Ben H basically finally made his decision on who he was picking, he actually called the girl's father up right there and then, asked for the blessing, and that was it. It's not really fair. It's not fair to the girls. It's not fair to their families to say, oh, if I decide to enter this, can I ask for your blessing in the engagement? No, you don't have to do that. You just don't have to do that. And the thing is, they asked Colton, the family asked Colton, are you falling in love with Caitlin? He's like, yeah, I am falling in love with Caitlin. I'm thinking to myself, oh boy. Like, I feel like at the start of the episode, I was like, is he going to say that to every single family? Is he really going to say it to every single family that he is falling in love? Like, really? like I said, if you feel it, you feel it. But I remember historically with The Bachelor, it wasn't I'm going to tell every single girl that's in the top 4 or even the fantasy for that matter that I'm falling in love. No, it's a gradual process. It's a gradual journey. All right, I won't say process anymore. No, Bachelor Nation wants to say journey. So it's a gradual journey. You build up to that. You don't. In fact, it got so discreet, so secretive that in the early stages of Bachelor, you didn't even bring it up. You didn't bring up, oh, I'm in love with you until you actually got down on one knee. Till you took that trip to Neil Lane and talked to Neil Lane and got yourself that customized ring. That's when you would bring up the fact, oh, I'm in love. But then Ben Higgins started doing this. Oh, I'm in love with JoJo and I'm in love with this girl. And then that's when people started to break that code and just say it way too early in the process. But anyway, like I said, let's get back to this hometown in Frederick. No, I don't know why I said Fredericksburg. I think it's Fredericks, Virginia. And like I said, ultimately, uh, he said that I remember to Caitlin's father. He just said that I want your blessing, and eventually, father he had a trepidation, but eventually he said, okay, you can have my blessing. You seem like you're a good guy. If you're serious about this, then okay, you can have that. And then Caitlin, she had said that I'm falling in love, but at the same time, when she said it, I'm falling in love, she kind of was looking away. And I think to myself, I get it. Telling someone that you're falling in love with them or you're in love with them, that's a big process. I get that. But at the same time, you don't need to look away. You look at that person in the eye when you say I love you, yeah, you gotta say it with some conviction. Okay. You gotta say I love you. Don't no see, I'm looking into the camera. You gotta say I love you. All right. Not I I I think I'm falling in love with you. No, you gotta say it like you mean it. All right. So that's why I was thinking to myself, is it true? Is it really true? Was Katie and Demi and the other girls in the house, even going back to Elise or Sydney, are they right? Are there girls who are not really here for the right reasons? I know that's like an ongoing theme in Bachelor Nation. Right reasons, or uh, can I walk you out? That's an ongoing catchphrase theme in the Bachelor Nation. But at the same time, at least Colton got that reassurance, and he basically said, "I'm starting to fall in love with you too." And they like I said, they got chemistry, even though at the beginning, I didn't really think that Caitlyn and Colton were going to be in the long haul, but I did think that Caitlyn would get pretty far. This does not surprise me. I mean, she's used to these type of competitions, even though this Bachelor thing should not be looked at as a competition, but it is a reality show. At the end of the day, it is a little bit of a competition, whether we like to admit it or not. That's what it is. You're competing with other people. They're competing with 30 other girls in the house. That's where this is all started. This was the inception of The Bachelor. So that's why it is a competition in a way. Ultimately, you do want to win it and fall in love and start a family and be like Jaden Tanner and really take your relationship to the next level and actually really, really be happy for the rest of your life. So I get that. But anyways, I want to get to the next hometown. And the next hometown was my girl, my favorite. It was in Sweet Home, Alabama, Hannah B, Birmingham, Alabama. Yes, Hannah B. I forgot that she also was a Southern Belle. Or no, not Hannah B, Hannah G. See, I always get the B's and the G's confused. It's Hannah G. You gotta say it with emphasis. You gotta respect Hannah G's name when you say it. All right, because I'm not going to say it no more. I'm not going to say Hannah B no more. I'm going to say Hannah G. I'm going to put respect on it. But anyways, Hannah G, Alabama, Sweet Home Alabama, Roll Tide Roll. And I think now this relationship, I legitimately can see it. I can see it. I've seen it from the beginning. I said, okay, Hannah and Colin, they definitely have a lot of chemistry. And Hannah B is a really good compliment for Colton, even though I do think that Colton needs a little bit more of a dominant woman that's going to push him. But at the same time, you can see Hannah is a very wholesome girl and that she is here for the right reasons. So, anyways, they are at Birmingham, Alabama. And the thing is, one thing I thought was pretty funny because as everybody says, I think a lot of guys out there we want that Southern Belle. We absolutely want that Southern Belle. All right, that one who's going to be cordial and wholesome and polite and have good manners. Hence the reason why Hannah B basically, or Hannah G, I know I'm going to be doing that a lot now. Gets in my head, but Hannah G took Colton to an etiquette class where they learned some Southern manners. The people down the South are they tend to be have very good hospitality. So there was some basic Southern etiquette that they were learning. Like basically, Colton was balancing a book on his head. Like I came in and balance a book. Well, I guess I can, but walking, balancing a book on your book on his head, trying to do the basic good posture. And then when they got down to the dinner table, of course you pull the chair. I think that pulling the chairs for the lady, that's universal. That's not just a Southern thing. That's everywhere thing. That's just a polite thing to do. But one thing that though was really funny, it just got me like, I was like, what is going on? When they got to the biscuit, when the coach, the etiquette coach was teaching Colin how to eat a bread. And the way how he was eating the bread, she was like taking like one piece at a time. Like, what are you doing? She's like, taking like one little piece at a time. See the thing is, I think it's really apropos when girls do that. I love it when girls are very polite when they eat their food, like a little piece here, a little piece there of their bread. At the same time, I also do like it when a girl can really dig in and get into those like some chicken wings or ribs. But that's one thing I think I understand that if a girl it's ladylike, it's a ladylike thing to do. To ask a guy to do that, have Colton like take a little piece of the bread, I'm like, that's way too much. Not only that, on the dates, not only that, but in the etiquette class, she was telling Colton that after you take a piece of the bread, you put a small amount of butter on that bread, and then you take a bite. So every single time that you do that, you gotta take a little piece here, a little piece there. I'm like, what is this? That's a little too much etiquette. It's good to have proper etiquette at the dinner table. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's another thing I forgot, people. I forgot. They also had you placing the napkin on your lap first before you even attempt to get into the food. So and Colin thought that maybe you gotta say grace, but that wasn't the case. So the little etiquette class was good. It helped prepare. It was a nice little prerequisite for Colin before he actually met Hannah's family. But Colin's a pretty I would say he's a pretty respectful guy. He has pretty good manners. He's very gentle with the women so far. But anyways, basically, Colin finally went to Hannah G's family's home, big family, which I really love, and it really was Sweet Home Alabama. And they asked Hannah. They asked Hannah. See, I don't know how everybody knows this. It's like everybody knows this about Colin. That was like one of the first things that got brought up. They asked Hannah. They're like, Hannah, are you okay with Colton being a virgin? I'm like, what? Like, does everybody know about this? Like, I get it. He's on national television. I get it. He's on ABC's The Bachelor. I get it. But at the same time, how does everybody know that this guy is a virgin? I thought that a lot of people that actually are contestants on the show don't always watch the show. But the fact that their families know, I guess they must have done some research on the subject. But at the same time, I guess it really isn't that big of a deal. I get it. That's the motif. That is the theme of this show. The fact that Colton is a virgin. But to me, it's not that big of a deal. That's his life. That's just what has happened so far. So I think it's good that Hannah doesn't really bother. I didn't think it bothered. I would think that if it bothered Hannah, she would have went home like all the other girls. She would have been home by now. She would say, I'm going to take myself out of this competition. She wouldn't even get into competition. But the fact that she's okay with it, I think that's good. So anyways, you could basically see that Colin also spoke with Hannah's father, and they asked the same questions of, well, how he did not, like I said, he basically asked Colin, like, how do you know that Hannah is the one? And they were basically asking, are you telling us the other girls the same thing? It's absolutely true. Of course he's telling the girls are the same thing. That's the one thing I don't like about the whole hometowns thing. I feel like the guys, they really need to stop telling every single girl's family that A, they're falling in love, B, can I have your blessing? And C, they need to stop, absolutely stop giving the family's idea that they're actually serious about this engagement ring or saying I'm falling in love. You don't know that yet. That's why it's like really, really, you just don't know. But at the same time, Hannah has said that she feels safe with Colton and that she trusts Colton. I'm like, okay. I mean, they do have a report. Colton's a pretty safe guy, given the fact that he is at Birch, and so he's a pretty safe guy. You could trust that. But at the same time, I just think that you can't because it's a probability game. It's a probability game. There's still 4 girls left. There's still a chance. There's only a 25% chance that Hannah will be here. That's it. I don't like those odds. I just don't like those odds. And the thing is, when Colton asked the father for his blessing, he was a little bit hesitant. I understand, honestly. If I was a father and my daughter was on this show, I would have some trepidation. That's how I feel about it. But the family didn't really challenge. Hannah's family didn't really challenge Colton. They took it easy on him. It was saccharine. I mean, he digests a very easy pill when it came to Hannah G's hometown. And I get it. I mean, that's how Hannah is. Hannah's a very wholesome, easygoing, laid back type of girl. And I really like that about her. She doesn't really come off as very confrontational. And I feel like, as I mentioned before, a big reason I like Hannah G is I really think she has a lot of motherly, nurturing attributes about her that's really appealing. And that's why I think, even though she's only 23, I mean, that is pretty young. 23? Like, I think like three of the 4 girls left are 23. Cassie, Caitlin, and Hannah are all 23. The only one who's like around Colton's age is Tasha. And 28 is even young to get married. Honestly, I understand. I mean, this is not the 1900s of when people get married in their 20s, 21, or they get married right after they graduate high school. I mean, that's a long time ago, long time. Okay. But once again, as Hannah and Colton were basically done with the talking to Hannah's family, Hannah said, at least now, see, this is what I liked about Hannah. I was like, yes. Hannah actually, when she said, I'm falling in love with you, she looked Colton in the eye and she said it with conviction, like she meant it. And you could tell. And then Colton said it very naturally, I'm falling in love with you. Now I believe that. That's believable. Absolutely believable. But the other stuff, like Caitlin's one wasn't as believable. This one was definitely believable. And that's what I'm about. It's all about saying with conviction. I understand it can be very difficult with all the cameras around looking at people, but at the same time, I still think it's important. It's absolutely important to say it that way so people know that you're being genuine. That for a second, just take yourself out of the cameras, okay? Take yourself in the moment, all right? And that's more believable. So, like I said, I was a little bit disappointed in Hannah's hometown just because I wish her family was a little bit more challenging on Colton. But like I said, that's how Hannah is. Like I was expecting Hannah's mom to be a little bit more at first because she was giving Colton different looks when he first came in the house, but that's not quite what happened. So, anyways, let's get to Tasha's hometown in Santa Ana, California, the OC, Orange County. Beautiful place. I mean, I was a big fan of the OC in the early 2000s. That was my show. Seth Cohen, Ryan Atwood, Marissa Cooper, Rachel Bilson was in that. Summer. That was my show. But that's when I think of the OC. I've always wanted to be in Orange County after watching that show. But anyways, you can see Tasha is very, very confident from the beginning. I do like how she stirred up things up a little bit with Caitlin, even though I wish that she didn't say anything to Caitlin about what she heard about the whole, they might just be here for the Bachelor, but I mean, they might just be here to become the next Bachelorette or to be famous. But at the same time, at least now Tasha can focus all of her attention on Colton, and that's it. So from the beginning, she basically, as she comes to Colton, as Colton comes to her hometown, and the Orange County, she starts off with blindfolding them. I'm like, blindfolding? What's going on over here? What have we here? And from that start, I was like, okay, she's probably gonna do some crazy adventurous activity because when they first did the bungee jumping, I think it was like in Singapore. That was a complete. They're both afraid of heights, and sure enough, she actually took Colton skydiving. Oh my gosh. I don't think I'll ever be ready to do some skydiving. I know a lot of people get a thrill, they get adrenaline rush from skydiving, but I don't think I'll be quite ready for that. I mean, I think that'll be a little too much for me. But at the same time, I think it's good because for one, it's an activity that's going to give you a rush. You're doing it together, and I think that it's one of those. If you're an adrenaline junkie, it's definitely a great experience, and it's about facing your fears. Um, and you can see like one thing that really annoyed me, and I wrote this down in my notes. All right, this is one thing I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys on Facebook. I know you guys aren't watching on Facebook, Instagram. I know you're not guys aren't watching on Instagram and YouTube. I know you guys are not. Well, I have one person in there, but I want to ask you guys: is there a difference? Is there a difference? I want you guys to digest this. The difference between falling in love and being in love. Falling in love and being in love. All right. Because I think personally there's a difference. I want to hear your opinions about it, but I do think that there's a difference. For me, falling in love is basically, I don't know. I think that I look at it this way. To me, they're the same, but there are some semantics behind it. For me, I feel like you saying that you're falling in love with someone, in a way, you're telling them that you're in love with them. But at the same time, you're saying that I'm falling in love with you, but I'm not quite there. But at the same time, by you telling them that, oh yeah, I'm falling in love with you, you're also telling them that there are other people who, well, at least in the Bachelor confines, there's other people who I'm also falling in love with, and I think that's very problematic. It's very. I feel like it's just not possible to fall in love with 4 different people in 6 weeks. I asked you guys at the beginning. I don't think that's possible. So I don't think it's fair for Colton to say to 3 different girls, "Oh, I'm falling in love with you. I'm falling in love with you." Either you're in love with them or you're not. Okay. Either you just basically you telling them I'm falling in love with you is basically a hint, a suggestion, and a lot of times women they love to hear hints. Okay, it's just how the brains are wired. Men's brains are wired differently in terms of communicating. Women's brains are wired differently in terms of communicating. And I feel like that's a hint of, hey, I'm getting there, or they might perceive it that way. And ultimately, obviously, Cohen's not there. At least not all these girls. So that's why I feel like he's to stop saying I'm falling in love with you. But I know he said to Tasha. So basically, they go to skydiving, have a good time, and then Colin meets Tasha's family. And one thing that is people be reminded of is the fact that not Colton, Tasha was married before. Before she was I guess I'm not sure exactly the time frame, but she was married before, got a divorce, and so Tasha's family is very protective of that. They don't know how serious Colton is, and that's one of the things that Tasha's father did not like. It's basically I remember him saying that how can you fall in love 6 weeks of knowing someone? 6 weeks. Now, I think it's possible. I don't think it's possible to fall in love with 4 different people in 6 weeks, even under the Bachelor confines. But I do think it's possible because a lot of times you look at celebrities. A lot of celebrities sometimes they get married within a month because they spend so much time together and they are under a different platform than the average person, I guess, or the average pedestrian or civilian or however you want to put it. So I get it; it's possible. So another thing, and that's the thing, I really like Tasha's father because he was not buying into this whole hocus pocus. I'm falling in love with 4 different girls at the same time type deal. He's not falling. He's not falling for that. Now I believe the Bachelor does work for people, but to say that is like, oh well, I gotta ask some more questions about that. So Tasha's father, I remember him saying that falling in love is the wrong words. Like, how can you fall in love with more than one? And I remember that also when Colton asked Tasha, he asked Tasha's father for his blessing. He was like, I don't know, like it's not so much you can just microwave. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, oh, he got a point there. He got a point there. It's not so much you can't just microwave. It's not just that quick. It's really not. It's not so much it can just happen. And the thing is that I think that as much as Colton wanted, and that's the thing, Colton's like upset about that. Like I look at it this way. One thing I don't understand why Colton should not be so upset. He's not taking it so personally of the fact that some of these fathers are not going to give him his blessing. You know, some of the fathers are not going to give him their blessing to marry their daughter, okay, to be betrothed. All right. He needs to realize that it's a possibility. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Okay. I saw the rock here. It doesn't matter if they don't give you your blessing. It does not matter. I can't emphasize this enough. I feel like there are a plethora of times, okay, in marriage where in-laws don't get along, where in-laws do not accept it. They do not accept the fact that or welcome someone into their family. It happens all the time. But I feel like it doesn't matter. All that should matter is that you're happy and the person you're choosing to be with is happy. Sure, family is important, but at the end of the day, when you're getting married, you put your spouse first in front of everybody. Okay. That is the person that you are giving unconditional love to. So Colton it's not bother him. It really should not. I feel like it really stings and really, really interferes with his ego. And I feel like it can be very toxic for him, but at the same time, it should not be. And the thing about it is, I think that when you look at these different fathers from the different hometowns, I think they see a cesspool of red flags when it comes to this whole Bachelor concept that Colton has invited these women into. And it's not the Bachelor's fault. It's just the nature of the show. And I think that ultimately they need to realize that it's not so much that Colton wants to mess with these girls' hearts. It's that he has to explore the whole entire journey of it. So he needs to realize that, okay, well, if Tasha, I feel like what Colton has to do is that if he's positive that Tasha's the one, before he gets down on one knee and proposes, okay, or even before he takes himself to Neil Lane and get the customized ring, what he needs to do is he needs to call Tasha's father up, ring, call him and say, I picked Tasha. Do I have your blessing? That's it. Problem solved. All right. That's it. That's all you need to do. It's not that difficult. That's all you have to do. So, anyways, like I said, I also want to throw in here that I remember when I'm looking at my notes right here that's what he said. Now I remember what he said. What Tasha's father had said was that you don't just microwave relationships. They don't just happen just like that. And they don't. It takes time. It's a process. Like in Philly, trust the process, right? Things don't just happen overnight. Amazon didn't just have a good quota that month because they planned to have a good quota that month. No, they planned 5 and 6 and 7 years in advance to have a good quota that month. Just like it took the Sixers 3 and 4 and 5 years to get to this point that they're in right now. It takes process. That's what it's about. But anyways, ultimately, I was a little disappointed. Tasha's father gave Colton consent and blessing to propose to Tasha if he decides at the end of this whole journey. And I was like, okay, whatever. He gave in. And I don't know who told him to give in. Maybe he trusts his daughter because Tasha was very convincing about it and say, trust me. And I was divorced before, but at the same time, I trust Colton. This is how I feel. And he eventually gave in. And it seems like Colton's all their family members, I believe her brothers, they seemed to want Tasha to be happy. And the mother didn't really say much. She didn't really have anything to really throw in there. Mostly the father who was anchoring the difficult questions for Colton. But like I said, Colton says he's falling in love with Tasha. So That's what happened. And then finally, let's get into. All right, let's get into the hometown, Cassie's hometown in Huntington Beach, California. Okay, you can just tell. I mean, I kind of already knew that Cassie was from a. She looks like a California dream girl. She just looks like it. Blonde hair, the blue eyes. She just looks very Southern gal. But anyways, Huntington Beach, beautiful beach. You could tell that she's grew up in a very upscale family environment. And the thing with this beginning of this hometown date, they went surfing. I thought that was a pretty good little date. Cassie seems a lot more athletic than I thought, but I guess if you grow up on the beach, you better be able to surf. But anyways, Colton, he was really struggling. I was surprised. I feel like as an athlete, as an ex NFL player, I know Colton didn't really play much in the league for a period of time, but he still made it to the NFL. And for that, I was like, okay, well, I figured he'd be a little bit better at surfing. And I know surfing takes a little bit of balance, but I figured after a couple of attempts, he would at least get used to it a little bit. But nope, he kept on struggling. Cash was trying to give him tips here and there, but he kept on falling off the board. He just wasn't figuring it out. And the thing is with Cassie and Cole, I think out of all the four girls, I mean, out of all the 30 girls, Cassie and Colton had the most intimate chemistry, I think, because you can see the other girls see it. They're always kissing. They have a lot of chemistry, but can they get above that? Do they have more than that? Do they have the deeper leveled stuff? Do they have the intangibles? Because I feel like a lot of their relationship is more so lust than actually love. More lust than love. And I just see that, and it's okay. But then this Cole is not. He's not looking to break his virginity with someone who just wants lust. He wants to break his virginity with someone who he is in love with, who he can start a family with. And I think that when you look at it, I feel like Cassie, like I said, I have my doubts. Like I said, I absolutely have my doubts about their relationship because I think she just might. I said before I believe her when she said she's not here to be the next Bachelorette, but she might be here for the right reasons either because there might be some truth to what the other girls were saying. Enough girls said it. Because I do think that Cassie does seem to be a genuine person, but at the same time, I just don't think that she's really in love with Colton. I just don't buy it. I just don't. And I know that Colton was trying to get her to say it, and she just couldn't say it. She just could not say it. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason for that. There's an absolute reason for that. And I was like, you know what? The reason why she can't say this because she's not there yet, and she's never gonna get there. But I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. She's just not saying it because I think partially she doesn't ever think she will get there. But at the same time, she doesn't want to lead him on in the wrong way. And I think that's a good thing. You don't want to lead Colton on and say, oh, I'm falling in love with you if you're really not falling in love, if you're not there. And not only that, I think that it's going to be good for Colton because now for him, it's like, okay, this is reality. I look at this as a challenge and I'm going to have to work to get there because relationships do take work. Relationships in the real world, it's not going on vacation every day. It's not basically sipping on strawberry daiquiris and walking on white sand and basically having a good old time overseas and traveling the world and going bungee jumping and going skydiving and just going to Singapore. It doesn't work that way, ladies and gentlemen. It does not work that way. We all know that. Okay. It does not work that way. So I think that was a good wake up call for Colton. And the thing is, when let's see. That's right. Let me break into this. Like I said, I was talking about the intimacy and the fact that Colton was not that great of a surfer, but the thing is, one thing that was a big no-no for me. I did not get this, people. You guys tell me what you guys think. But I did not understand. I cannot comprehend. I cannot put the words. I cannot really understand. Why did Cassie say that I can't say I'm falling in love with you. Until you see my family first. To me, that's a big no. That's an absolute no. That's an absolute no. You can't. I just don't. I don't understand that. That befuddles me. Why do you need your family's approval to determine whether or not you're in love with someone? You don't need your family. I get you could be close to your family, but your family is not the one who's falling in love with your spouse. You are. You are. Okay. There's a chance your family just might not like your spouse. And I spoke about this earlier. There's a chance of that. However, they still have this idea that, oh, well, I need to absolutely, this is how it has to be. My family has to love Colton in order for me to be in love with Colton. I'm like, what? Really? You cannot say that. That is not fair. You cannot say that to anybody. I think that ultimately, what you need to do is if you love Colton, then just say, I love you. Okay, you don't need your family's approval, but I did think it was really funny when Colton. I mean, when they went into their family, maybe the Cassie's family's home, and you could see her sisters and mom. They were all blonde up. I was like, well, a lot of Barbies here, and you can see they look straight out of Southern California. All three of y'all, all three of them, that look like it. And then the father was like, he was like, oh, he was giving Colton the looks. He was scowling at him. He was like, well, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And the thing that I was like, what is going on? One thing that I did not understand that I was like, Cole had his arm right. He had his arm right around Cassie's hip in their home and Cassie's father's home. This is your first time in the father's home, and you got your arm all wrapped around her hip. I was like, you got to give her a little space, brother. That's a little too close. But once again, Combs like, hey, I'm still on The Bachelor. I'm still The Bachelor, so I could wherever it goes. And I think that the father could see that right away. He was like, he could see that. Okay, well, I could definitely see the affection. I could see the affection between the two of them. But at the same time, what I thought was hilarious. Okay, this is my favorite thing. My favorite line from Cassie's father was when Cassie's father just said, he's just another guy. And he's right. He's just another guy. He's just another guy. He absolutely buried the guy. He buried Colton. He's just another guy. Say it with me. He's just another guy. And the father was not impressed with him. He was not. And I think that's good because you gotta see if he can hack it, if he can handle meeting the father. And I just thought that was really, really funny. I was like, what the I was like, that's great, man. Just another guy. And the one thing that I thought was like, I'm sorry, I can't even get the C's right. Cassie, Colton. One thing that really was really like what I was like, really, I was giving Cassie's sister some quizzical looks when she asked him. She had, I hate to say, she had a blonde moment. She asked Cassie, do you like him? Do you like him? And then Cassie said, yeah, I like him. And then followed up by, yeah, do you like him? I'm like, they just met the guy. How do you know if you like someone after just meeting them for the first time? I know first impressions are important, but they just met. So how can you know if you like the person if you just met them for the first time? So, oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, this conversation is awkward. Cassie's sister's not gonna be of any help. So, anyways, like I said, basically, it got to the point where she basically talked to Cassie's sister. Cassie talked to her sister a little bit, and after that, Cassie talked to her father about it. And the thing about it is, I agree. I agree. One thing that I noticed about Cassie, this is one thing she said. This is one thing it said. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She said to her sister, that's right. I wrote this down. She said to her sister, yeah, I am falling in love. And she said, I know it's really weird. I'm like, what? It's really weird that you're falling in love? How can you say it's weird? Either you're falling in love or you're not. That was another red flag for me. Like I said, Cassie's got a cesspool of red flags. For her to say that, I just sense an ambivalence about her. And I get it. She doesn't want to rush it, but she's so unsure about it. And I feel like after you get to hometowns, you should be more confident about it. You shouldn't be so unsure about whether or not you're here or if things are going to work out. It shouldn't be like that. And the thing is, one thing I also noticed is that uh, Colin also spoke with Cassie's mom, and they asked him, you know, no, this is what happened. Colin's Cassie's mom asked Cassie this. Uh, Basically, are you falling in love with him? And she just can't answer that. And then Colin's mom also asked Colin, what did Cassie say? Did Cassie tell you how she's feeling? And she's like, I don't know. She didn't tell me yet. And I just think that the fact that she's not really expressing how she feels, and all it is just them kissing all the time, it's problematic. It really is. It's a problem with that. There is. And I feel like what you have to do ultimately is you should get to the point where either you're in or you're not. At this point in time, you should be well above the intimate stuff, and you should be able to express the deeper level stuff. And Cassie just can't get there. And the thing is about it, I know Cassie's mom had said that the thing about Cassie is she's very picky because she's been hurt before. And you can tell that Cassie is pretty picky. No, she does all that speech pathology stuff. She's all about all that. She still is pretty picky. You can see that right off the bat, you know. So basically, what after the whole exchange between Colton and Cassie's mom, then it got down to the real business. The real business. It was Colton and Cassie's father. They're going head to head. Basically, Colton's father, he said he just basically just met him, and he doesn't really fully trust Colton because he doesn't really know if for one, like I said, there's three other girls left. So how is he gonna know if Cass is gonna be the one? How does he know that he's gonna he's gonna propose to her at the end of this? He does not know, and he needs to know that for his daughter's sake. And that's why I know for his father, for Cassie's father, he's not ready to give him his blessing. I know Colton continues to ask the fathers for their blessing, but he's not ready for that. Okay, when he's ready for it, he will say it, but he's obviously not ready for that. So, anyways, one question, you could also see is that I remember one thing that also happened. It was basically Cassie and her father were talking about these things, okay? And the one thing that Cassie's father had brought up to her is, how do you know he's not saying the same things to the three other girls? And how can you know that he's into you only if he was dating girls for the last 6 weeks? And I'm like, he's right. He has been dating 30 other girls for the last 6 weeks. Okay. And Cassie continues to look away, showing more indecisiveness. And then she says, "Oh, I'm not dumb." But at the same time, father says you're only 23 and your future's ahead of you. You got a future well ahead of you. And he's absolutely right. How do you know right off the bat that's the case? You don't know that. She's only 23. 23. That's it. So one thing that I just don't understand about this whole thing is that this idea that for one, that there's three other girls in the show that are 23. I still don't get that. There should be like an age limit or age requirement to be a contestant on the show. I know there is an age requirement. I think it's like 18, but it should be higher than that. The requirement should be like 25. 25. Okay, as I said, there's not the 1900s where people are ready to get engaged and have babies by the age of 21. There's not this time. Okay, this is the 2000s, and I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Like I feel like 23 is just too young of an age, especially in this day and age. So, anyways, like I said, you can see that Colin after Cassie and Cassie's father talked, then then Colton and Cassie's father decided to talk a little bit more, and the father just can't give Colton the blessing. I mean, he just thinks it's premature. I kind of agree with him. It is premature. It's very premature. All right. Uh, like I said, the thing is about it is I think the main problem is that Cassie is still she still does not know where she's at. She can't tell him how he feels. I mean how she feels. And I think that's the biggest problem. If she had a better idea of where she was at, then okay. Then they could work things out. Then maybe all right, I could take Cassie a little bit more seriously, but I still cannot take her seriously. I just don't buy it. I just feel like she's hiding something. And she just whenever Colton wants to ask her about her feelings, she continues to look for this subterfuge where she'll say that, oh, I'm not sure, or she'll look away, or she'll laugh it off. And I know that another thing she does is she tends to look away and not look Colton in the eye. I mean, you gotta look him in the eye. You gotta look him in the eye and express how you really feel because people can see that. They can see it. And Colton's not happy about the fact that she's so unsure. I think that when I look at the rest of the girls, I think he looks at Cassie as number one, Hannah as number two, Caitlin as number three, and Tasha as number four. That's how I look at it. And the fact that his number one girl, I feel like his dream girl he really wants to be with is not there. She can't. It's problematic enough the fact that Cassie's father that can't give the blessing because it's too early. But it's just as much problematic the fact that Cassie can't tell Colton how she feels, and she keeps on saying, "Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I need to wait. I need to wait." There's only so much time. There's only so many episodes left. Okay, we're in hometowns. You better know what you want. You better know if you're ready to get that Neil Lane ring. You better know, but you don't. You don't, and that's where the problem is at. That is where the problem is at, and that's why I don't trust Cassie. I do not trust Cassie at all. All right. I just don't. And I think that the more and more you hear the trepidation from Cassie, it's starting to be more believable that these other girls are right about Cassie. Um, and the thing is also what I wanted to say is that when after these hometown dates, you got to the rose ceremony. I'll tell you, I was completely surprised, like everybody else. I really thought that the girl who's gonna be getting sent home was Tasha. I just don't see it with Tasha and Colton, but Colton likes something about Tasha. I think he likes her confidence and that she's mature and the fact that she's been married before, so she has a better idea of what she's looking for than the other girls. The other girls, as I mentioned, are only 23, still pretty young. Colton's 26. So the age gap, 23 and 26, is pretty significant. You know, that's gotta you really gotta understand that. You know. Oh well, thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thanks for watching. I know I don't have many people watching. I've been watching the show for a while. I got hooked onto it one day because my mom was watching it and my grandma was watching it, and then I was pretty bored, so I started watching. I was like, "Wow, this is actually pretty good." So that's why I got really into it. So I really appreciate that, Nicole. I really do. Thanks for that. But yeah, I'll keep going back into. Like I said, I know that a lot of people don't watch it, but if anybody who comes in, you watch it, and you guys want to share your opinion on it, I'm ready to talk about it. I like to talk about it a lot more. I don't like just being the one who gets into it because honestly, it's kind of like hard for me to just talk about it just nonstop about this. I mean, I have the ability to do it. I'm used to doing this, but it's so much better when I have other people's opinions where people can interact and share their opinion about it. So, what's up, Ray? Yeah, Ray. So Ray's my Bachelor fan. You know, he actually watches the show. So thanks, Ray, for joining us. Like I said, I'm on Facebook Live, I'm on YouTube Live, and I'm on Instagram Live. So yeah, basically, Ray, I am talking about I basically was recapping. I was finishing up Cassie's hometown, and I was talking about the rose ceremony. How I really believe that Tasha was going to be the one that was going to be sent home, and when I found out that basically when obviously Hannah got the first rose, and then when Colton said Tasha, I said, "What?" I started looking around. I was like, "What? Really? What?" I could not believe it. I was like, "Tasha?" I really thought it was gonna come down to Tasha and Cassie, and then Cassie would be picked. So I thought that for sure it was a lock that Caitlyn was going to be the one picked, but she was not. I said, what? I mean, I'm not a Caitlyn fan, but I was surprised. I said, whoa. And even Caitlyn was surprised. She looked over at Cassie because they're in cahoots. They are really in cahoots, like honestly. And when Caitlyn looked at Cassie and said that this is BS, she flat out she had no filter at all. She had no filter, bro. No filter. Oh yeah, now let's talk about Tayshia. I will get back into Tayshia's hometown if you want me to, Ray. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of her hometown. My favorite home. Let me just recap this real quick. All right. So basically, I was completely shocked when that happened, and I was like, "Oh man, here we go again." Suspense. So it came down to the two girlfriends who were in cahoots. I don't even want to say cahoots because we don't know for sure, but they're obviously good friends. They obviously support each other. And I get you can develop a friendship, you can cultivate a friendship with being in the house for 6 weeks with the same girls. I get that. But it's just Caitlin's reaction was the funniest when she said, BS, this is BS. And we saw that side of Caitlyn before when she went up on Tayshia, when she did her interviews, calling her the B word, calling her this, dropping 4-letter F words. And you could see it. You could see Caitlyn has that side. She's not all smiley and beauty pageant and cordial and polite. She's not always that way. She's just not, but you could see, like I said, you could see someone's true colors when there's adversity, when they have to persevere, or whenever there's a storm, how they handle the storm. And you can see Caitlyn does not handle storms very well. So, anyways, he gets to the drum roll, gets to who Colton picks, and he picks Cassie. He sends Caitlyn home. All right. Now, I think by that point, everybody knew that Cassie. I think there's a consensus that Cassie was going to be the one picked, but it's still surprising that Caitlyn got sent home. And ultimately, it's not as complete surprise that he went with Cassie, because I think you can just see they had a lot of intimacy, and you can see that they have a lot of chemistry. You can just see it. All right. So as Caitlyn was not picked, she basically, Chris Harrison comes out. Caitlyn, I'm sorry. Hey, Caitlyn, I'm sorry. Say your goodbyes. And she doesn't say her goodbye to anybody else. She just looked over at Cassie and said, "Get engaged, girl." It's almost like they're in on something. Get engaged, girl. I'm like, whoa, what's going on over here? So basically, Caitlyn gets sent home. Colton said, "Oh, I don't know what to say." Like, Colton, bro. Like, honestly, okay, let me read this, Ray. Cassie should have went home, but he is obsessed with her. Yeah, you're right about that, Ray. He's definitely obsessed with her. I know he is. He's obsessed. He wants Cassie. That's what I was gonna say, Ray. He wants Cassie more than Cassie wants him. That's the best way of putting it. And relationships can't be microwave. Yeah, I did talk about that. That was classic by Tayshia's father. He's absolutely right about that. Relationships cannot be microwave. They cannot be. And let's see, Luke, what's up, Luke? Yeah, Luke. Yeah, we gotta watch it, Luke. I mean, me and Luke. Hey, Luke, we definitely gotta watch The Bachelor. I'm telling you, it's a pretty good show. It's a relationship-based show. It's pretty entertaining. It's got drama here and there. I think you would enjoy it. But anyways, Colton basically he says to Caitlyn, "Let me walk you out." Classic Bachelor exit line. He walks her out. Can't give her an explanation on why he sent her home. He just says, "I don't know what to say." And Caitlyn says that, "Oh, I was blindsided. Don't really know. I'm surprised." And the thing is, I don't know why Colton was comforting her. Don't be comforting her, man. Get your hands off of him. I mean, get your hands off of her. You just sent her home. I get it. You care about her, but by that point in time, you only have your arm all wrapped around her, consoling her. Those times are over. All right. You already sent her home. All right. At least you owe her an explanation on why you picked the other girls. Rather than say I'm falling in love with you, at least tell her why. All right. You can easily say to her, "Well, I'm at a stronger point in my relationship with other girls." That's fine. That's fair. But at the same time, you still got to say a little bit more than just, "I don't know. I'm a loss of words." I just did not get that at all. That just really, really bothered me. And the thing is, after watching Caitlyn, take the exit in the SUV, explain how she was blindsided. Obviously, she was upset. She was in tears. I understand that. I get that 100%. But I think that this really is a setup. This is a preview. This is a foreshadowing, if you will, of Caitlyn being the next Bachelorette. Now, I'm hoping it's not Caitlyn, but I think it's a great possibility. She's everything that the Bachelor is looking for. I'm not sure what the fans think of her, but I can see her being the next Bachelorette. She definitely fits that bill. So the thing is, Caitlyn, like I said, she's upset. I get it, but at the same time, there's a great chance. There's a great chance that she will be the next Bachelorette because I think the producers will feel sorry for her, and the fans will feel sorry for her. Even though I just something about her, man. I just don't like her as the next Bachelorette, but it's a possibility. It really is. And I'm sure there's other out there. So yeah, you guys tell me what you guys think. If you like Caitlyn as the next Bachelorette, it's definitely a possibility. So now it's narrowed down to three other girls, three girls. The trio of Cassie, Hannah G, and Tasha. Cassie, Hannah G, and Tasha. And you can just see, man, Hannah G, she is ready. She is ready for the fantasy suite. You could just see how excited she was. You could see how hot she was getting. She was like, she could not contain herself. She was like, "Oh, I cannot wait till we get into that fantasy suite." Oh my gosh, man! But she needs to realize that Colton is a virgin. Okay, he is a virgin. All right. It just might be anticlimactic for you. So just prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself for that, Cassie. Prepare yourself for that, Tasha. Prepare yourself for that, Hannah G. All you guys, prepare yourself for that because he is a virgin. All right. It is going to be his first time. All right. Rome was not built in one day. I can't believe I just use that reference. All right. So just prepare yourself for that. And I guess Cassie, I guess, yeah, I didn't really look at the sneak peeks for next week's episode. I saw a little bit of it, but then when they started to reveal too much, I said, I'm done watching this. I'm not watching it anymore. Because I don't like to watch the sneak peeks. I just don't. I get they want to get their audience to watch it, but Bachelor Nation is loyal. They watch it no matter what. Okay. You even got MLB player Yasiel Puig watching The Bachelor. Okay. It's not just women watching this show, it's guys too. And like once you get hooked on The Bachelor, you get hooked. It's Bachelor Nation for everybody. But let me see what you say, Ray. So I feel like he is the first time in the history of the show that there was no real interest in the lead. They don't really want Colton. I just want to see it. I just don't see it in the end with anyone. Wow. Well, I mean, I think that's a good point, Ray. It's a possibility because of the fact that, and people on YouTube, I'm responding to people on Instagram live. One of my friends, Ray, he's a big Bachelor fan, and you guys uh, definitely tune in, give me your opinion. But I think it's not completely off, Ray. I think it's definitely a possibility given the fact that I think what's really hurting Colton is the fact his inexperience. I think that he just broadcasted too much. And I get it, he told Becca, but I think it's too much. It's his whole virginity. It's overexposed now. And I think it's hard unless you're like high school sweethearts or you're both doing it for religious reasons. It's very hard to be with someone, right? Just be with that one person, and that person. That's the only time they had that experience with that person, and that I feel like some of the girls are afraid to be that girl because Colton, for one, will get attached, especially if someone you're falling in love with. I mean, to take your relationship to that level, it's very hard to let go of that person because you're gonna remember that for the rest of your life. I mean, that's just your first time. So that's the thing that I think is really, really hard for a lot of these other girls. And who knows, Ray? Maybe these girls are just here to find out. But anyways, like I said, my live is ending. It's like 25 seconds. Just stay tuned next week. I will be doing this again. It's gonna be heated. 2-night event, Monday and Tuesday next week. Double header, double dipping of The Bachelor. It's gonna be exciting. And remember, I'm not only your favorite contrarian, I'm the only contrarian. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear.